All right, we are back. Big dog at Trosk Dog, little dog at Ala Trosk. Unusual for us. We're doing a Sunday night reaction, and I think the reason we wanted to do this is because there's so much. I mean, there's so many things to talk about with the way the Seahawks played. I mean, maybe there's not even so many things to talk about, but there's just so much. Like when you win a game, the way we won against the Colts, there's just not that much to talk about because everyone plays good, everyone looks good for the most part. But then you come across last week where we just basically collapsed in the second half, or today where the full team collapsed. We played okay on offense in the first half. Besides that, it was trash. All three phases were trash. So I mean, my initial thoughts to the game, I was disappointed. Obviously, I thought the offense played well in the first half, disappeared in the second half again. This is the third time in a row, even against the Colts. The defense, they really struggled. I want to give credit to Kirk Cousins, though. I thought he played an excellent game. I think Kirk Cousins has been absolutely balling out the first three games. I mean, if you just look at his stats, I think he has 9 touchdowns so far. I don't think he's a pick, maybe one pick. And just overall,
No picks.
he played a good game. It's that anti-vaccine juice that's running through his veins right now. He's just unstoppable. Justin Jefferson. I mean, I don't even know if the receivers really played that well. They did for the Vikings, but it just felt like everyone was open. There's always someone open, whether it be scheme, um, just out-talented on the outsides. It was just kind of domination. And I thought the Vikings D-line rushed Russell Wilson really well. So just from a tactical standpoint, I think we got beat all around basically. It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating because dropping an AFC game isn't terrible, but dropping an NFC game when the rest of your division is winning all their non-divisional games, it's super hard. Super hard. What are your thoughts, Ala?
A lot to unpack, I guess. Not really though. Like you said, it was just a full collapse from the team. Super frustrating. It felt like we abandoned the run game in the second half. It felt like the defense just had momentum killing plays constantly on third down. I think they were like 6 for 9 or 7 for 10 or something like that at the end. I look at the Ugo Amadi play. I mean, we're up 17-7, 3rd and 3, incomplete pass. He holds away from the play. And just,
I mean, it was a hold, to be honest. He just didn't. I feel like he didn't need to do that. Like, just don't grab him. You can just get in his way a little bit, but just don't grab him.
It was bad, and it's frustrating. I feel like, DK was maybe the one bright spot of the game.
I agree.
The entire
DK
game.
played well. I thought
And even
he got so much space in that very
he
first
got
drive.
space. His hands look good. I mean, he had his little bit of an injury scare at the end there, but who didn't have an injury scare today? It's just frustrating.
Sure.
It's frustrating because I think Cody Barton doesn't belong on the field in any form ever. What is that guy doing on a roster? He's terrible. We give up on him. He sucks. He reminds me of T.J. Thompson and Delano Hill a couple years ago. He's so bad.
My take on Barton is that, okay, there's two things on Barton. Jordan Brooks is clearly in the doghouse. I mean, Pete does not. Pete is upset with him. Pete thinks something's not clicking with him. It's obvious. I mean, he has such a short leash. And then also Barton, I think it's his last year. Is it his last year? It is, right?
On his rookie contract, yes, I do.
Yeah, it's his last year, and I think they never really he never even had a chance to play with KJ and Bobby. And I know he hasn't looked good, but I think they're like, okay, we got to give him. We can't just cut him and never play him, when you're behind Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright. There's no shot he was going to play in like the 2018, 2019 seasons. There's no shot he's playing. 2020, even KJ Wright was back. So I guess maybe that's their take on that. But I think more the fact that Jordan Brooks. I mean, he didn't play well last game. Jordan Brooks was awful last game.
Yeah. Well, Jordan Brooks also went down today.
Yeah, I think I don't think Jordan Brooks has been too hot. But I mean,
No,
Cody
I
Martin's worse. But
completely agree.
Jordan Brooks pissed off Pete Carroll somehow. Or maybe he's
Uh,
just not getting something on
but
tape we're not seeing.
Barton didn't play today until Jordan Brooks carted off.
No, he did. He did.
A little bit.
I'll see the snap. I want to see the snap counts, but he was in like first or second quarter.
He he's so bad. I can't.
I mean, he's
watch.
bad. He's bad, but
I can't watch him. I can't watch Trey Flowers. It makes my eyes water. That's just frustrating.
you know, I
I
was
think we
thinking
need
about
the
today.
Eskridge back.
I think that Trey Flowers. I think the Trey Flowers hate has just gotten too high. I
gotta
just
be
feel
too
bad.
high.
I just feel bad for him at this point. Like, I mean, it's not his fault he's starting, right? Like, think about it. Like, it's not his fault. He doesn't choose to start. So, the more we keep blaming Trey, which I think people want to blame Trey, but also are blaming Pete for it. I mean, he's
I
done
think we also
some.
need to blame Ken Norton a little bit too. He's getting a lot of fire.
Yeah, there's some quotes I want to get to from today's press conferences that are
Go ahead.
kind of eye opening, I'd say. But yeah, I mean Trey Flowers. I mean, I feel bad. Did you hear what he said today?
I did.
Greg
He
Bell,
looked depressed.
or someone asked him today in the press conference. This is Greg Bell tweeting. He said, "What when asked about what the defense needs to do to come up with big plays in the secondary, Trey Flowers says more film study, more." And he says, "Sadly, y'all want me to be Sherman," and that just hurts, dude.
Yeah, I mean it's clear that I mean he's now league wide known as a horrific corner, and that's just can't be good for anybody's mental health. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I
at
mean,
the same
it's just-
time, he's not performing.
he's not. He's not performing. It's obvious, but I mean, you know how you said there were no like good things to come out of this game. I think the one good thing to come out of this game is that the Seahawks are forced to make a change. Like, I guarantee you, we're not going to see DJ Reed and Trey Flowers out there. It's going to be something else. I guarantee.
I mean, that's the thing. There's no guarantees with Pete Carroll. He's so conservative in the way he moves his team around. Like, if he picks a guy at the start of the year, he sticks with him a lot of the time. So it might not be as guaranteed as you think.
Well, okay,
He's got a
so
very set mindset.
I'll say this though. Someone asked him today in the press conference, what's stopping Sidney Jones from playing? And guess what he said? Not much. Not much. Dude, that's the most I've ever heard him like outwardly say he's given up on a player. Like he never says anything like that. He also said we threw everything at them defensively and we'll be looking at everything to fix this defense. Basically saying like changes are coming because they tried everything. They thought they've tried everything with who they got out there, so I think the only option is to switch it out.
I think if you bench Flowers, he's done forever. You know, his career is just over.
But I think Flowers can be like, how many backup corners in the league are good? Like I think he's a decent depth corner who could play in the system and survive as a backup guy. Like I wouldn't be mad if he was our backup. I mean, come on, like what good backup corners in the league? There's not enough even starting corners.
Just, I'm very pessimistic about the Seahawks right now. Usually, I'm more of an optimistic fan as well, but
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all, but I'm only optimistic because I think getting like these games force change and having them happen early, really, I feel like these are the problems we could encounter later on the season. To encounter them earlier feels like a good thing to me because it forces the change.
I look at it. See, my problem with that is that I look at it on all the games going back to last season, everything except that one Rams game. Our offense still has never recovered since it was flowing.
That
You
Jets
said it
game.
yourself.
That
In
Jets
the
game.
Colts game, the Jets game, what was that week? What week was that?
That was like week 15 or week 6 or week 14.
I still look at it and I just
I
Even
mean, I
then,
agree. I agree. The defense or
the
the
Jets were
offense.
so bad. Are we really gonna count that?
I mean, they
I mean,
beat
the
the
Jets
Rams
put
the
up 0
next
points.
week.
Man.
They beat the Rams the next week. But I'll say, I mean, you're right. The Jets were really bad. But I mean, you're right. The offense has been bad. Last week, they were mostly bad, even though they scored 30. The week one, I think they didn't dominate start to finish, but they were good. Like, we're not gonna drop 40 points. Like, no one's dropping 40 points every week, and we scored 28. Like, not legit. You know.
Yeah.
I felt like
Um,
week one was better than week two. Offense was good. Week three, first half, we had. I mean, it was good for the most part. Like, I think if we don't let them score 21 and it's 17-14, you feel good about the offense. You just don't feel good about the offense because we are still down after scoring 17 in that half, which is hard to swallow. I mean, the defense. Second, you have a point, though. The second half was bad. They just
so
can't.
looking at the schedule from
Yeah.
last season, talking about the Jets games. The Jets was week 16, no, week
Okay.
14.
Week 14, yeah.
No, yeah, week
It was
no
like
week
week
13.
14. Week
Week
13, okay.
13. Week 14 was the football team. Week 15 was the no, it was week 14. Week 15 was the Rams game where we couldn't get the ball moving at all, and we forced turnovers. And then the Niners game at the
Wait, did
end,
we win that game?
we did. Just
Yeah. How much did we score in that one?
20. But I don't think we scored. I don't think we had long drives. They're pretty
Yeah,
bad.
probably not. Probably not. But the Rams D was
But the
definitely
Niners
better.
game as well, we had a lot of turnovers.
We lost that one, yeah?
Yeah, no, we won. We won on the I think it was a Tyler Lockett like touchdown, something like that.
Oh, yeah,
Something
fourth
like that.
down. Cross body. That was filthy.
Um, and then the Rams game, which we obviously lost. Offense couldn't get anything going. So I look back all the way till then. Our offense looks stagnant. It looks weird. It hasn't looked flowing since the mid-season of last year. Even with Shane Waldron looking good at the start of the Colts game, it seemed like he ran out of steam as a play caller.
I think you're misconstruing it. Like, I don't think they've played a full game front to back of a good offense. But
I agree. I
the
think
first
that we
game,
had a
this
full
first half,
drive.
dude, they had that one field goal, but I think there was a penalty, right, on one of those drives. Or am I
Probably.
wrong? On that drive, they had like that
No, it
blocked in.
was.
Or was that a different drive where they
Oh no, it
punted?
was a block in the back
Oh, that
on
was the one they missed. The one they missed the field goal. There's a block in the back, which was like it seemed like such a soft call, and we would have got the first down there. Um,
yeah. I
but
did
in the
look like a
first
block
half, we
pass
had
calls.
every drive except for the last drive, which was kind of like a didn't really have. We had 20 seconds or something. Every drive was a scoring drive. We looked great. Running game was good. It's just like front to back. Even the Titans game on the first half, our offense looked way better than the second half, where we literally just had Freddie Swain release.
But yeah, to the offense's credit, I mean, we were down when we got the ball back. We were down 7 with, or we were down 7, and
Oh, we're
we've been
down.
essentially given no chance,
Yeah,
like, to score since we were up 3.
yeah. I mean,
It's
yeah, they got the field goal.
frustrating.
The field goal miss. Like I said, that drive could have been different had they not gotten that call. So that was right after. I mean, the Vikings had a super long drive.
Yeah, so it's 17-7. Then the Ugo Madi play happens, which I think was a huge momentum turning point in the game. They go down to score. Then we go down. We miss the field goal. And then at the end of the half, the Vikings score. That's how they go. That's how they get 10 straight or 14 straight points right there. And then they get the ball at half. So it's like essentially 3 straight drives given to them because of the Jason Myers missed field goal. So, and all 3 drives, they just dominated. I mean, they had guys wide open on third down. They ran the ball on first for like 6 easy yards. I mean, Alexander Madison finished with what, 150 yards on scrimmage? He was limping half the time.
Yeah,
No push, no pass rush on a terrible offensive line. It's super frustrating.
yeah. I mean, we didn't get much pass rush today. I kind of feel like it wouldn't have mattered, to be honest. Like just the way the Vikings were drawing up plays, and the way the Justin Jefferson and Thielen were open, or whatever they drew up. Basically, someone was open by the time someone could get pressure. I felt like whenever Kirk actually held onto the ball, we got pressure. It never even got to the point really, unless someone came unblocked, then maybe we could have pressured Kirk before he could throw it. But besides that, he was getting it off before pressure could even get there for the most part. And I will say, Dale Taylor played a pretty good, decent game. That strip sack was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a third down play, yeah, and then he recovered it and got the field goal.
That forced that field goal, which was big because I don't know if we're stopping them.
Was that our only sack of the game? Might have been.
No, we had 3 sacks, actually.
Oh.
The pass rush wasn't terrible, to be honest. It just was like too many times the pass rush couldn't get there. Like I said, like Jefferson would be open, one move, like a slant or like an out, and it was done. On both corners.
I mean, hopefully next week it's going to be better. I look ahead at our schedule and I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, I mean, did we talk about it last week?
We did, but we didn't really go into depth. I think there's a totally new perspective now. We look way different than we thought we did last week. Even in the loss, I still expected us to be a top 10 team. Now I'm questioning if we're a top 20 team, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, I said going into the next 4 games, we'd have to finish at least 3-1.
Yeah,
so we already took that one loss.
I can argue that our most beatable game is the Vikings. So,
dude, honestly, I might say the Steelers. The Steelers look so bad.
The Steelers look bad today with horrific injury issues. Like, they're going to be healthy by week 6.
I mean, I kind of agree, but their offenses look bad the whole season. And Ben Roethlisberger, again, is the worst quarterback in the league starting. Maybe
Zach Wilson's the worst quarterback in the league starting, and then it's Trevor Lawrence, and then Ben Roethlisberger is probably
by far the worst non-rookie quarterback.
I think Winston's close.
Oh, Winston played pretty decent today.
Winston got the luckiest touchdown I've ever seen in my life today.
But Ben...
Ben made the worst
throw in
life too. Did you see that throw? That was Zach Wilson-esque. The one he threw to triple coverage.
I saw the one in 4th and 10 where he threw a swing pass to Najee Harris.
That's frustrating. Or that's just a bad read. I don't. That doesn't have anything to do with Ben being washed. I mean,
he's washed.
He's washed, but I wouldn't use that play as evidence. That was just an unfortunate misread of the situation.
Well, I think they're worse than the Vikings. I honestly think the Vikings are better than Owen. I mean, they should have beat the Cardinals. No doubt they should beat the Cardinals. They should have beat the Bengals. They should be 2-0. They should be 3-0 right now. I mean, Kirk Cousins is playing elite. Like, I don't want to excuse the Seahawks because they played terrible, but I think the Steelers are a worse team than the Vikings, like top to bottom.
I think
maybe not in the secondary.
Especially if Jake Curran's out there. Even though I thought he played a pretty good game. Underrated.
I thought he played decent for an undrafted rook.
Yeah, no, I agree. I still think he gets murdered by TJ Watt. But
let me read some of the I will say our offensive line played worse than I even thought. Let me read some of the stats in a sec.
Tyler Conklin was murdering us. I think our linebackers are really struggling in coverage. There's obviously that Jordan Brooks play.
I think that might be why Jordan Brooks is getting benched. He's just, like, in zone. He's just not in the right place, and that's why they're completing so many things. I mean, even that one that the commentators pointed out, do you see that? He bit so hard on, I think it was Conklin, and they just had, it was like 3rd and 13, and they just easily found Jefferson behind him. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I think that's the Jordan Brooks play, where he steps up to the guard Conklin. Yeah.
Like, you can stay back in that zone and still make the play. It was 3rd and 13.
He's got to be aware of the situation there. That's frustrating.
Like, you could still make the tackle and be like 4th and 5. It's all right. All right, let me see. So, the offensive line finished with a 35.9 pass blocking grade according to the PFF, allowing 17 pressures, 12 hurries, and 3 sacks on 38 pass blocking snaps. 17 pressures on 38 pass blocking snaps is pretty bad. I'd like to see like what was the cause. Daniel Hunter had 8 pressures, and he's mostly coming off the left. So probably Curhan and Jones, but I mean,
Everson
my
Griffin
expectations are
also
low
like
for
got
Curhan.
his way. We also seemed affected by the crowd a lot on the offensive line. There was obviously that one sack that Dwayne Brown gave up because he didn't get communicated with the play. And he was
Yeah,
frustrated.
I mean the one that Everson Griffin got where he came inside, Damian Lewis just got blown up right away.
I thought there was one screen we ran, and we had Fuller and Lewis as our leading guards or leading guys, and I can understand why we don't run screens because they could not get out there at all. And Fuller is terrible. He was getting murdered all day on the line. He was just getting pushed around in the run game. Chris Carson has to bounce every run outside. He's not meant to do that. He's not built for that. Luckily, he's so good, it doesn't matter. But he's not built for that. You can agree. Well, he's not supposed to be running laterally. We want him going downfield, making cuts inside gaps. I feel like we had one inside run all day.
I mean, I agree.
That's just our lack of trust in Kyle Fuller, and I think that's justified. So
I think Damian Lewis, maybe that switch to left guard isn't helping him, or maybe he's just not healthy. But he's been playing. He's been having kind of a sophomore slump. I thought his pass block. I mean, last year his run blocking was legit, and now it feels like his run blocking hasn't been that great, and his pass blocking hasn't improved, and it was bad last year. So kind of disappointing there.
That's just my reaction to the game right there. I'm speechless. The schedule coming up just looked horrible. Not even talking about the Steelers game. The Niners game next week. I don't know how we're gonna
I'm
stop
not like
this.
super scared of the Niners, to be honest.
I think they're actually an okay matchup. If they were healthy at running back, we'd be done for. We'd be done for.
I disagree. I think our defensive front is like built to stop like the Rams and the Niners schemes right
they
now.
They're gonna cook off like Jimmy Garoppolo. He had like 90% of his yards off of intermediate throws down the middle. That's where we suffer from. Like,
I mean, it's true.
He's just gonna split our zones up because we're gonna have to load blocks, put like 3 linebacker sets out. Actually, maybe we won't because Brooks is injured. I don't know how bad that is.
No. Okay, so we didn't talk about that yet, but we can get to that after.
I just think we're just gonna get exposed and diced up by Jimmy Garoppolo, and that's frustrating. I think if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't throw away the game like Jimmy Garoppolo does sometimes, we lose that game. I don't see how we stop him.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about the Niners game in a bit. I'll say Jimmy Garoppolo is Jimmy Garoppolo, so that's always a win condition.
I'll say he's a win condition, but he also sometimes is pretty good. I'll give him that.
I mean, did you see that? Oh my God, that was such a bad. That was one of the worst plays I've seen. Yeah. Oh, that was so bad.
It was bad, and the pick was bad too.
Yeah, the pick. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think we always show up to play the Niners.
Like, how many times did he fit it into tight window throws in the middle of the field though? Like to Debo and Ayuk, who had little separation. The kill throw at the end of the game was a great throw. Like, he's good with reads, and we're gonna have open guys. They're gonna be guys open. So,
I mean, is Sidney Jones and Bless Austin really going to give up as much as DJ Reed and Trey?
Do you really think they're going to go double switch? I think DJ Reed probably starts again. I don't think he played bad enough.
Well, here's what I'll say. DJ Reed did look better on the right side, I thought, and now he's on the left side. So maybe switching him back to the right and putting Sidney Jones at left might be the move.
Could be. Marquise Blair injury. We'll talk about. You want to talk about the injuries?
Yeah, I'll touch on those real quick. So, coming into the game, Marquise Blair was warming up. They held him out. Apparently, he got a knee injury. It was bothering him earlier in the week. He warmed up on it, and John Snyder said that they just wanted to hold him out, which is kind of disappointing. Although I just feel like at this point we're not going to see a fully healthy Blair for the rest of this year. I think he's just still going to be recovering from his knee injury from last year and just trying to get back to full speed, which is bad because Ugo Amadi is okay but not the answer. Hyder got a concussion on that little 2-yard run. I don't know. It doesn't seem too bad, but we'll see how long that is. Also, Benson Mayowa missed this game. He had a neck injury that came up late in practice. individually, like Blair or Mayo and Hyder going down isn't the worst, but it does feel like the more these guys go down, the less depth we have, and the next guy who goes down, I don't know who we have behind him, right? Like, anyway, moving on. Tyler Lockett, he came back into the game, which is encouraging. I thought when he came back into the game, I watched him on a few plays. Did you watch him? He did not like nearly as explosive.
Not great. Neither did DK after he got hurt.
Yeah, so I mean,
my initial reaction to the Lockett play was, I watched the replay back, and I was like, I don't see where he really gets hurt here.
I saw his knee get twisted for sure. It didn't look like full super bad though.
It didn't look super bad, and the way he reacted, it looked like it was bad.
Yeah,
but
it could have been like the awkwardness.
I was thinking. I also saw when he fumbled the ball, he reacted and tried to grab it, and I was thinking like, oh, maybe Tyler Lockett's just taking a little bit of a lie down because he wants to take less credit off of the fumble, something like that. I would do that, but I do not. I'm not questioning if he was injured or not. I'm sure he's constantly in pain because he's still definitely never recovered from the first year he had.
Yeah, and
I'm sure he only works on adrenaline.
Tyler after the game said, "I'm okay." The doctor said, "I'm okay," which is not very helpful because the doctor said he's okay, but I don't know. He makes it seem like he kind of got cleared to go back in, but he's not healthy. I mean, what I saw from this one guy who tweets like injuries was a minor MCL sprain, so not long term, but he could miss a little bit of time, which kind of worries me because we really need him the next 2 games for sure.
Yeah, it is frustrating.
I mean, what does his offense look like without Lockett and even Eskridge?
It looks Swain. I think Swain's okay, but
Swain's not bad actually. I mean, the only play I remember him messing up was the drop, but he didn't really drop it. It was just a bad throw.
It wasn't a great throw, although I do think he looks slow running the routes. He just looks less athletic to the ball. I think I just see Lockett and DK coming down with that somehow.
He had a nice end around too.
No, he did. He looks good. I think he's definitely wide receiver 3 material. I just think, like you said, if we don't have Lockett, like how Penny Hart can't play.
Hey, you know what I'll say? I mean, how good did Disley and Everett look on their few catches? Like we should be fine. This is an epiphany right now. We should be fine if we give those guys the ball, dude. They're trucking like 3 people per catch, bro. Just give him the ball.
I think we could run more hitch routes. I just think Russell Wilson's height and just lack of ability to get the ball in like tight window throws is just why we
just
don't.
run some mesh with our tight ends. Get him a step and just get him the ball in stride. And just see if they can break some tackles. Run some like tight end screens. I feel like all our screens today were for Chris Carson, which we didn't talk about screens yet, but we're terrible defending screens and we're terrible executing screens.
Yeah, well, I mentioned the Fuller and Lewis play where they were out. The screen
true.
It was just terrible. I mean, we got to get faster guys out there. I mean, any other people in the offensive line are more athletic.
And before we jump to the tight ends, I do want to say Jordan Brooks should be okay. He just got cramping. He actually came back, was going to go back in the game, but we were going to lose anyway, so I think they just kept him out.
Yeah.
That was all the injuries,
before we talk about the screens, because we haven't really mentioned it. We just mentioned a little bit. Russell Wilson probably didn't play a great game. I mean, he doesn't look bad, but he doesn't look great.
I don't think he played well. I think first half, the offense did well, I'll say. So we're just talking about the second half.
The DK throws were nice in the first half. Second half, I thought even the 4th down play, I thought Penny Hart, that could have been a touchdown. I mean, why do you put so much air on that?
Dude, Penny Hart got wheels, man.
I also thought...
I think he just didn't... My take is he was out of sync with Penny Hart. Like, he hasn't thrown enough deep balls to Penny Hart in the game. So Penny Hart's just speed just surprised me.
Because Lockett will usually slow down and track the ball.
It's also likely, he didn't think Penny Hart was going to be open, and that's like his 4th read.
It did look like a rush throw. I mean, he had guys in his face for sure. But I still think he needs to make that throw, that sweaty Swain throw you're talking about. We talked about it in the game.
Oh, he needs to make that throw.
He needs to make that throw. No matter how small you are, no matter how many guys in your face,
I
You gotta
think that
make
was
up for
definitely like a
Russ.
height was the issue there because if you could just
Yeah.
stand up and see
I think it's
that
been a
ball's coming
huge issue
down.
all year. He looks less mobile to get out of the pocket and make throws on the run. And I think he's having to sit in the pocket more, and he's not a great pocket passer. He just never has been. And
I don't know about that. He has his weaknesses, but he's definitely a great pocket passer.
I don't know about that. I think
How
he's a
many
great deep ball
dimes has he
thrower.
thrown from the pocket, dude? Imagine if we had any other quarterback. You'd be like, oh my god.
Kirk Cousins today looked like is a better pocket passer than
Kirk
than
Cousins
Russell
just
Wilson.
played better today, no doubt. But Kirk Cousins is also like much worse than I saw Russell today.
Oh yeah, we're not talking about our pass right now. We're talking about pass. Cam Newton's top 10 quarterback in the league. You know.
Cam Newton never had the elite pocket passer.
No, it's not talking about pocket passing. Just talking about just referencing. I also thought the Penny Hart play. Funny thing enough, I thought that was an interception. I'm glad they didn't count it as such.
I thought it bounced, but yeah, whatever.
There was no good angle, but
Coming into this game, I thought this was going to be a interception game for Russ.
yeah. Do you think
It always just comes out of nowhere and just breaks your heart because you never expect it with Russ.
No, he always starts off strong every year. Doesn't throw picks, and then one game it just happens fast. That Baltimore game,
it always
2 years
happens at
ago?
the worst time.
yeah, the Baltimore game 2 years ago with the pick six from Marcus Peters. I was so sad.
Or the Cardinals game, bro. Last year, he didn't have any picks
Last
until
year,
the Cardinals
no, it
game.
was exactly the same. It was
Yeah,
the, it
and
was
then he
the
had that
similar
one
play.
pick where
It was the Buda Baker pick.
I think Carson was gonna score too, and we were about to take away the game, and then not take away the game, go up a touchdown, and then he had another one in the. I mean, he had 3 that game, so
Russ,
I was expecting it. So hopefully it doesn't happen in the Niners rounds because we really can't afford to get one then. Maybe it's the Steelers. The Steelers offense is so bad we could afford a pick.
yeah. Another thing is, I think we can afford a lot of things in the Steelers offense. Although we're the type of team to make the Steelers offense look good right now.
Dude,
It's frustrating.
Dude, if we make this Steelers offense look good,
Our season's over. I agree.
I think the Steelers bottom 3 up there. I think only the Jets and the Jags are worse.
Yeah, you could be right.
I don't know a worse offense.
I think the Colts
I don't know
offense
about-
is pretty bad right now.
Yeah, that's true. I think. Yeah, that's true. Close, but
There's some other teams, but Jets and Jags are terrible offenses.
no. Jets, Jags, and Pittsburgh are terrible offenses, bro. They're so bad.
No,
Cincinnati
Steelers
defense
suck.
is
The
not good.
Football team is a terrible offense too. I was just thinking about it.
They already had a better showing, but yeah.
It's just I don't see many scenarios where it beat the Rams.
Yeah, the
It's
Rams
just
look unbeatable. I mean, we're gonna talk about it
tomorrow.
but the Rams are definitely coming in at number 1 in the power rankings. I don't know how it's even debatable at this point.
I don't know. I think they do look vulnerable sometimes. So
I don't think their defense.
Stafford, but look, like they
super
scored
scary.
31 points, and Stafford missed a lot of throws. Like it's scary, dude. Deshaun
That's what I'm
Jackson
saying. Their offense looks filthy. Dude.
butt booty naked on like 6 deep balls, and he only hit him once.
I mean, Stafford is hitting some tough throws, but he's also hitting just guys like wide open, which is bad because that means the scheme is actually working, and Stafford can hit the open throws and he can hit tough throws. So even if he's missing some, it doesn't matter. They're good enough.
Yeah, I think the only way to win that game is to get some Stafford win condition from 2013, back when they were thinking about benching him. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, my only hope in winning that game is.
I mean, you got to think Russ is eventually going to just be Russell Wilson, so I don't have doubt in him.
I mean, I know we're gonna put it together. The offense is gonna have a full game of dominance. Not dominance, but they're gonna play a full game.
I think
gonna come.
at our
I mean,
peak,
it's just a matter of time.
at our peak, we look like easily top 5, like 1 or to 5 offense in the league, and even with our struggles, we're still probably statistically pretty high and probably in the top half. I mean, we've got 1 turnover on the season, I think. Like 10, 12 touchdowns. Like, that's a great ratio. I just think our time of possession's abysmal. Just looking at it the league-wide. I think we can't sustain it at all. And that's pretty much our big issue. I think running the ball has been a huge issue with the last 2 games. Although I question why. Like I said, I think we abandoned it. I mean, Carson ended with like still like 6 or 5 yards per carry today. And it
Yeah, I
looked
mean, we
good
ran
in
the
the
ball
first
well
half.
in the first half. The second half, we kind of abandoned it, but we had
The
that
second
one
half,
drive.
we got the ball back 17-24. We passed our first 2 plays, I think. Both were like incomplete. And it was a sack, I think, maybe on the third.
Maybe, yeah. I want to say we
Something
did
like
run
that.
it, but
I think we might have run it once.
I think we ran it back to back with Collins, one drive.
Oh, we got a first down once. I know that. It wasn't a 3-and-out.
Yeah.
Gerald Everett got his first down too. Yeah, Will Dissly, you talk about a nice play. I mean, we've got 80 yards of scrimmage off of 2 garbage time plays too. I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
The Homer play today and the Tyler Lockett play last game.
No,
Tough to the Tyler Lockett
yeah.
fantasy owners. People thought he was going to be top 5 wide receiver, but maybe not.
Well, I think if we can put together a full game of offense, there's enough for both receivers to eat.
I agree. I think you'll see more games like the Colts game, and even that game wasn't full.
Yeah, that's
And they
we don't
still
need
both had
full because
super productive statistical days.
what I want to see more from the offense, which we talked about earlier, is just more from our tight ends. And I don't think it's their fault. I think Russ just needs to look at them, call up some more plays for them. I mean, no one's like expecting, no one's saying, oh, we got a game plan for Will Dissly and Gerald Everett. It's all around DK and Tyler. So can we not take advantage of that mismatch with DK and Tyler to use underneath Dissly and Everett? I feel like on the PA that Dissly had crosser, how is that not open more? How are things like that not open more?
I think, like playing devil's advocate, it's because like we have no run game. They're not afraid of the run game, so
I disagree.
are
But they're
just gonna be
definitely
less
playing
effective.
our run, don't you think? I mean,
Well, I-
we dominated in the first half.
But I feel like we got lucky with the penalties, and then by then they were playing soft coverage in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, you could say
And
that.
then-
I would say it's more.
You get to that point where we can't run the ball. We're not running the ball, so why are they going to stop the run? And you could see that definitely when we were down, what was it, 27-17? You'd see that definitely they were playing super soft coverage, and we still were trying to throw the ball.
Yeah, but it's hard to run when you're down 27-17 in the fourth.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I thought we had 11 minutes. I thought we could still put together a solid drive, but
I think we did run. I have to go look at the play-by-play. I felt like what happened in the Titans game is they were still playing kind of soft, but their D-line was dominating our offensive line. And I think the same thing happened today in the run game. Our offensive line wasn't moving people that well. So it just makes it so much harder to run when the defense can play a light box and still stop you.
yeah, I completely agree. I don't know. I think we said it. I've said my piece on the game. I'm frustrated, like from top to bottom. Nobody on the team has impressed me. I mean, DK was maybe the one good player this entire game, and he played so bad last week. It's hard to be excited about him.
All right, well, let's talk about what changes do you think we're gonna see, and do you want to see on defense?
I don't know. I think maybe we give Alton Robinson more snaps. Finally, maybe that's my hope. Carlos Dunlap, you never mentioned Carlos Dunlap, but you thought he took a play off in there, and it did look like that. It was a third down. He kind of just like walked up to Kirk Cousins. He was on coverage on Tyler Conklin, and obviously Kirk Cousins is just gonna make that throw. So I just want to see more rotation on the line. I want to see less Barton and less Brooks somehow. Somehow we can make that happen. Maybe Ben Brooke-Curvin needs to play even though he's injured out for season. So,
John Radigan, dude.
dude, maybe we've reached that point. Maybe we need to make a trade. Maybe we need to. I think Sidney Jones probably has to
Hey,
play.
do you remember
I
they
would
started?
love them to play.
Remember when they started Shaquem Griffin?
Yeah, I do, and I remember him getting a decent amount of pressures.
Oh, it was so bad. No, they started him at outside linebacker, like Will, against the Broncos.
Oh, at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
Flashbacks to why sometimes the coaches are probably right. Like certain guys just aren't ready.
I mean, we found a spot for Shaquem Griffin at the end of the year, which is nice. I don't really know.
We drafted him as an outside backer.
Yeah. That's my piece.
What about corner? What about corner? Any corner
Sidney
change?
Jones probably needs to play. I don't think we give up on DJ Reed, definitely. But you're right. That much talent, and with how Trey Flowers, how worse can it get? It can't. It can't really get worse. Might as well make a change. See if it can get better.
That's exactly my take. Like how it could get worse, but not by much. And I'd rather just see a new face in there. Make someone have to game plan for someone else. Like Trey Flower doesn't have the same weakness as Sidney Jones, so they're at least gonna have to change it up, right? So
you're right.
I'd love to see next week, big divisional game. I'd love to see Sidney Jones get reps. I mean, if they have to split reps, whatever. Trey Flowers already looks like he's playing scared, so it doesn't really matter. At least let Sidney Jones try to prove himself on the field. Maybe even bless Austin. Who knows? And yeah, I want to see Jordan Brooks just step up to the plate, man. Make a play. Like, yeah, I feel like he hasn't made a play since last year.
Yeah, I thought he looked good in the first game, and since then it's been pretty awful in coverage.
Yeah, I think growing pains to the D-line, with the young guys at least, Darryl Taylor, and I mean he had his moments. Alton Robinson is still barely played last year, so they're not going to be perfect. Can always be better up front, but yeah, it's hard.
O-line still obviously needs to improve. There's no question about that.
Oh, on offense, I mean we got to change something up. Like, I mean we can't really. I don't know who can come in on offense. Hopefully Brandon Shell's back because right tackle. I mean it wasn't bad today, but Daniel Hunter had 8 pressures, so it wasn't great.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I think Kyle Fuller. I think our interior offensive line is really struggling right now. And,
I mean, do we think they just go Damian Lewis at center and then move? Like,
dude,
Jones
it might be at that
guard?
point. Jamarco Jones needs to play. Like, Kyle Fuller. Kyle Fuller might be that bad that we need to make some changes on the offensive line.
Who do we even have in depth?
It's hard because we played Damian Lewis at center last year. It's real bad. So.
It wasn't terrible. I mean, he had a few bad snaps or one bad play. But overall, I don't think he was that bad. I don't think.
He's not Kyler bad. You think he'd be better if you give him more time. So
exactly.
That's the same Trey Flowers argument. Like, how worse can it get?
I think they just like him
in
guard.
Point.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't even know. I think they have Phil Haynes, and I don't know who else they have behind those guys at interior.
And, yeah, why don't we play Phil Haynes, bro? How many snaps has he got in a regular season game? Like 12 total. I remember he played a little bit, once.
I mean, I agree. Just at this point, who even cares?
Exactly. Who cares?
Like, I mean, maybe it's a Shaquem Griffin situation where they put him in and they actually just are terrible, or Cody Barton, but
yeah. Maybe it's Russ too. Maybe he likes Kyle Fuller. Something like that.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, we need to see some. I think the offense. I won't say we need to see so much improvement, rather just consistency, because they've definitely shown it for halves at a time. And then the defense. I think it's gonna be a good matchup this week for us, better matchup, but they just need to step up to the plate. I don't know what it is, man. Switch up the cornerbacks, switch something up. Maybe just get fired up.
Hopefully.
Get off the field. Jamal Adams, make a play.
You're right. Jamal Adams has been pretty relevant so far, but he's not been bad at all.
He's not been bad, but he's not been good. I don't think he's been elite in coverage.
Yeah, we did trade for him because he's a playmaker, and I don't know if he's made real plays. So that's all I got to say about the game.
Yeah, there's not much else.
Frustrating. 1-2, bottom of our division, against 3 teams that look strong. I mean, the Cardinals definitely look vulnerable against 3 pretty iffy teams. Well, actually, I don't know. The Vikings are pretty good.
Vulnerable. Their defense does not look that great, and their offense is good, obviously. It's really good, but they make mistakes.
They do. I mean, Halliburton's got a turnover in every game.
Yeah, I mean, Niners definitely look vulnerable. Rams. Yeah, those are that's a tough one, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No, nothing to say. Scared for the Niners next week, but
Dude,
it.
I think maybe the divisional games will just set us straight. I will say before we leave, 1-2, not the end of the world in a 17-game season. We can still bounce back. The 2014-2015 Seahawks started 3-3, made it to the Super Bowl. Obviously, we know how that went, but they got there. So I'll say it's not all over yet. We can still come together. Also, tune in tomorrow, Monday night, NFL Week 3 recap. Tune in Thursday night. We're going to be doing the responsible bet. Got some good winners this week. Overall, pretty good across the board. So I hope you guys followed. I hope you guys, made some of the bets that we recommended because you guys would be in the green right now. That's just the fact. Anyway, follow us on Instagram at Big Dog Little Dog. Follow us on Twitter at Big Dog Little Dog. Follow at Alatrosk on Twitter.